like a wally. I have sewn the wrong sides together on this piece. I'm going to show you how to shorten zip if you have been a wally like me and bought the wrong size. Here of Ames's Antics. Welcome to my channel. I hope you are well today because we have another sewing project to get stuck into. In this week's video we are looking at how to make a makeup bag / cosmetic bag, whatever you want to call it, with some box corners to really give the bag a bit of depth and structure to help it stand up on its own. Now this bag is perfect for storing all of your makeup supplies or bits and bobs that you maybe want to carry about in your bag with you, but you could also maybe store your crafty supplies in as well. The possibilities are endless with this little bag. Now I have used some really pretty material that I was kindly gifted from Love Crafts. They got in touch with me and asked if I needed any supplies to help me with my crafting, and I jumped at the chance because when you are a sewer you can never have enough material because you never know when inspiration is going to strike, you never know what project's going to pop into your head, and having a big stash of material is perfect to really get you into that creative zone and experimenting. So yes, they have gifted me with a lovely fat quarter bundle of material to make some projects with. But not only have they gifted me with that material, they are also gifting you, the lovely viewers, with a cheeky discount code. But you've got to keep watching till the end of the video for this because that is when the discount code is going to appear. And why not take advantage of a bit of a cheeky discount to stock up on some crafting supplies. And with that said, shall we get into it? Let's get crafting. So here is the material I got from Love Crafts, and the first thing I did before choosing any of them was put them in the washing machine, giving them a good wash and dry, ready for use. Now it's really important to wash your material before you start any projects because this will account for any shrinkage or frayage that may occur in the material, which you don't want happening once your project is complete. So the material has been washed and dried, and as you can see, I think you can see it quite well on this one, look how much it has frayed. So that's why it's so important to wash your fabric before you use it, because you don't want this happening once your project is made. But yes, I think these are beautiful pieces of fabric. And what I forgot to say beforehand is these are the Lazy Days collection fabric by Tilda Fabrics, and obviously Love Crafts stack a lot of different fabrics, so this is a Lazy Days collection by Tilda. I just forgot to mention that before. So now that they're all washed, I've got to choose which one I want to make the makeup bag out of, and I've been thinking I quite like this one the best for the outside material. It's got a really nice lacy vintage vibe to it, and I love the sort of turquoisey Tiffany blue colour to it. As you can tell, I like Tiffany stuff, so from the previous DIY with a Tiffany inspired sleep mask. So yes, I think this one is going to be the outside material, and then I've just got to find one of these to use as the lining. And I thought as a complete contrast I might go for this one. It's got a bit more of a vintagey old school vibe, and obviously that's frayed quite a lot, so I'd have to trim that. But yes, I think that will be the make a nice lining. So that one for the inside and that one for the outside. But do let me know which one you like the best, which ones you prefer. I'll try and make a poll up above, or you could let me know in the comments, whichever you fancy. And just tell me which one is your favourite material from the Lazy Days collection at Tilda, to me should I say, from Love Crafts. So yes, now that I've chosen that, it is time to get on with making the makeup bag. So to make the makeup bag, you are going to need two different types of fabric, or you could use the same, but you'll be using one for the outer fabric and one for the inner fabric. You will also need some iron-on interfacing, a decorative zip, because we are going to put this on the outside of the bag rather than inside, but this will make sense a bit later on, some pins, your measuring items, and some tools for cutting. So firstly, you just want to iron out your material because this will just remove all the creases and lumps and bumps that may have formed from washing. This will help give you a bit more of an accurate measurement and able to cut a bit smoother because you don't want all your measurements going skewy. It'll ruin the project. And then you want to measure out on the inner and outer fabric as well as the iron-on interfacing, 2 pieces for each at 25 centimeters by 17 centimeter rectangles, I guess you would call them. To save material, I always fold these in half and cut along the fold to make the 2 pieces separate. Before any sewing can take place, it is time to prep the outer material by adding on the iron-on interface. So you want to place the interfacing down onto the back side of the outer fabric with the shiny side touching the fabric, and then just iron this on and it will bond to it. Then it is time to place the inner fabric to the outer fabric, right sides to right side, and sewing a small seam at the top of this. Make sure the edges all line up properly because you want it to be as even as possible. Don't forget to backstitch the front and end of the seam because this will just give it a bit more strength. And then repeat it with the remaining 2 pieces of material. So, like a wally, I have sewn the wrong sides together on this piece. I didn't realise until I started ironing it. So yes, painstaking job of unpicking the whole seam and putting it the right way around. So my advice to you, always check you've got your fabric the right way around before you sew it because you don't want to have to unpick it and potentially ruin your project. So yeah, on to unpicking. So now I have rectified the mistake. What I did, I just put the materials the wrong way around together. So what you want to make sure is that they are right side to right side. Now I always normally check, but I just got carried away with myself, so never mind. So this is what it now looks like. So what we need to do now is press the seams open. Once they are pressed open, you then want to turn them both the right side around and then press along this edge as well to make sure all the seam is nice and flat, because that's going to make it so much easier when we are putting the zip on. So yes, let's get to pressing. So use your iron just to press open the seam. So you just want to run the iron down the middle of that seam you've just created, making sure the 2 ends sort of iron outwards. And then you want to fold the material the right way around so that 2 pattern pieces are showing on the outside, and then press along this line, making sure that the seams are as flat as possible because that helps with adding in the zips. Repeat for both pieces of material. So, being a bit of a wally yet again, I've learnt something. I don't double check things when I am either making them or buying them, because I've bought these beautiful lacy, flowery lacy type zips to go on this project. They came in a pack of 40 on Amazon, and I didn't check the sizes of them. So as you can see, it is a very, very, very long zip. I think it measures about 42 centimetres, and the makeup bag I'm making is 25 centimetres width, so this is not quite double the length but near enough. So way too much zip for the project. Now ideally you want a zip that is the exact size for the project. For the makeup bag, whatever you're making, you want it to be the exact size. And I didn't check the size of these, so I've got a massive bag worth of long 40 centimetre zips that I can't use for smaller projects, but I can, because there is a way of shortening zips. So if you do have a zip that is way too big for the project you are making, then you can measure it down and cut it down and things to make it the correct size. So that's what I'm going to have to do with this, because it would be such a shame to make these all go to waste. So yes, I'm going to show you how to shorten a zip if you have been a wally like me and bought the wrong size. So moral of the story, double check when you are sewing your material together so that they are the right way around, and double check when you are buying materials for sewing that you are buying the right size and the right quantity and all that jazz. So yes, what's the saying? Measure twice, cut once. So I need to check twice, sew once. But yes, let's shorten this zip, and hopefully it won't be a wallet again. They say it comes in 3s. Hopefully there's not going to be a 3rd one in this project, but let's get shortening this zip anyway. So to shorten a zip, you just want to measure from the start of the zip down to where you need the metal part of the zip to be, if you get what I mean, so where the zip will finish. On this project I marked down to 20 centimetres, and then just marked along from this marking 2.5 centimetres, which is where the actual zip piece will finish, then using some sharp scissors just to cut this down. And then to make the zip usable, you either want to go to your sewing machine or you can hand sew this, and you just want to stitch back and forwards over the zip quite a few times. I think I did mine about 10 times. This will just give a lot of cotton over there, creating that zip end. As this zip is a decorative zip, it is going to be attached to the makeup bag on the outside rather than it inside what you would traditionally see. So what you want to do is take your zip, and where the teeth edge of one side is, line this up with the edge of your newly sewn and pressed piece of material, pinning it in place, and then just checking that you are not catching any of that material in the zip, because that can damage the zip and make your bag a bit more unusable. Then take it to the sewing machine, changing your sewing foot to the zipper foot, I think it is called, and sewing a neat seam or neat stitch all along that edge as close as possible to the teeth part of the zip, but making sure you are still catching in the edge of the material so that it attaches. Now, to make it easier on sewing it down, you can sew a little bit, place your needle down, lift your foot up, and then just unzip a little bit, and then re-zip it once you are past that bulky point, because you won't get that past your needle. And then repeat this with the opposite side of the zip to the opposite side of the bag, and your two pieces will then be connected in the middle with the zip. Double check that your zip is in working order, and then it is time to actually sew your makeup bag together. So you want to pin the inner material together and the outer material together, right side to right side, making sure you leave a small gap in the inner material so that you can actually turn the bag inside out. And on that same essence, make sure that you leave the zip open, or at least halfway open, so that you can actually turn the bag inside out. And also making sure that the zip seam is facing the same way as the outer material. Sew your seam all the way around. I think this is a few centimetre worth of seam. And then you want to use some scissors to trim all four corners. And I actually use pinking shears to go around all of the edges, just to give this a bit more of a neater look and to help prevent any fraying that may occur. To make the box corners, you need to imagine you are opening a bag of crisps. So what you need to do is pull the material on each of the corner outwards so that the two seams go into the middle. So if you get what I mean, so you pull it out and then the two seams lay in the middle. You want to feel by hand, making sure the two seams are lining up diagonally to each other. Then use a ruler and mark 4 centimetres across with some chalk or whatever you use to mark your material with, and then you're just going to sew a straight seam along this diagonal bit. So you're basically pulling the corners out, making them diagonal, laying them flat, and then sewing a seam across it, if that makes sense. But always think bag of crisps open, so it's that sort of mechanism, if that makes sense. Repeat this on all 4 corners of the bag, so the outer material and the lining material. Then you want to turn your bag right side out, so using that gap we left in the lining to pull the bag right side out. And hopefully you have left that zip open, because this will be very hard to do if you haven't, because the zip will be stopping you from pulling it right side out. Then make sure the outer materials corners are pushed out fully before then closing up that gap in the lining. So you want to basically make sure this is folding together and just do a top stitch right along that edge to close it up, and it should be nice and neat. Then put the lining in, and your makeup bag with box corners is ready to be used. So there you have how to make your own makeup bag / cosmetic bag, whatever you want to call it, with box corners. Now I think the box corners really do add an air of professionalism to the bag and really just gives it that more polished look. I like how it adds that bit of structure and it just looks lovely. Now the material I used was perfect, so thank you Lovecrafts for sending me that through. It has been very much appreciated and I have loved making this makeup bag. I really like how the colours of the turquoise and the sort of vintage lace look on the material go with that white lace zip. It looks beautiful. Well, I think it does anyway. A word of advice for people out there maybe who are on their new sewing journey or are new to sewing. Don't give up, because even people with a bit more experience still have lots of mishaps, and you will come across different mishaps and challenges when you are sewing, because sewing isn't easy. But once you get into more practice with it, some of the stuff you maybe find more difficult do become easy. And if you're like me and are a bit of a klutz, you will still make mistakes and have to rectify them. So don't give up and keep going on your sewing journey if you are new to it. And to help with that, if you need to stock up on some crafty supplies, Lovecraft, who supplied the beautiful material for this bag, are also offering you a chance at 20% off your orders that are over £10 using this code. Hopefully I have put it onto the screen. Ames's Antics 20 for 20% off all items over £10. Now you do need to be logged into the site to take advantage of the discount, and it does exclude printable PDFs or downloadable PDFs, value packs, sale items and e-gift cards, and is only valid between the 24th of May 2020 to the 24th of June 2020 as well. So make sure you are taking advantage of this offer and get your sewing supplies in quick with this 20% off discount code. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to let me know what you think in them comments below. If you've enjoyed the project, will you be having a go at the project? And if you have any other ideas of DIY projects you maybe want me to have a go at, please do pop them in them comments below. And if you're not already subscribed, click that subscribe button to keep up with more of my crafting and DIY antics, because there's a new video every Sunday morning at 9 AM GMT time. So be sure not to miss out on these fun projects, and you may get some more discount codes. So that's another reason to subscribe, and check out my blog linked below as well, Ames's Antics, because there's always a lot of information over there for you to have a look at. And with that said, I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting and